Yo, what's up? Welcome to episode 8 of Throwback Hoops. My name is Rob Clayton, and joining me today, as always, is part-time singer, part-time rapper, and all-round great bloke, Woody V. Woody, how's it going, mate?
Really good, Rob. Always good to chop it up with you every week, man. It's good to be back for another episode.
Great to have you, mate. And look, we've got a very special guest on the show today. This guy is the host of the NBL Pocket podcast, and I'd like to give a very warm welcome to Joseph Corr.
Guys, pleasure to be here.
Great to have you, mate. I know we've been looking forward to do this for a couple of weeks now. So, yeah, really good to have you on board. We've got a great show ahead of us today. We've got some good stuff to sort of go through. Now, Woody, I believe that you and Joseph may be having a little bit of a bromance going on at the moment. What's going on there?
We do. I mean, that's my guy, JC, over there, man. So, JC, maybe you want to tell the audience a little bit about how we linked up and maybe a little bit about our extracurricular activities. Not too much, though, right?
Well, Woody reached out to me. You know, Woody's a very personal guy. For anyone just listening hasn't met him, it was a cocktail of scallops, red wine, white wine, Darling Harbour. It came together and a sunset actually, and it all came together and it wrapped up at about 4 or 5 in the morning. A lot of fun. You know, you don't go into this thinking NBL podcasters are going to be a heck of a lot of fun, but let me tell you, that was a lot of fun.
That's pretty solid, yeah. Woody does tend to sort of, end up sort of making a close mate out of anyone when they sort of first meet and go out. So I'm not surprised there, Joseph. So good work, boys. I like hearing the story there. So, all right, look, just before we sort of get into it a bit more, just a reminder, obviously, to follow the show on YouTube, and just if you want to listen to the audio podcast, it's just available on all the podcast channels there. Please make sure you hit subscribe on those. And yeah, we really appreciate sort of all the feedback and everything that's been coming in over the last few weeks. And we're sort of really excited to sort of keep doing this every week. All right, so Joseph, not sure if you know, but pretty much there is a rule that anyone that comes on the show does have to wear a jersey. So I know there was maybe you weren't sure if you were able to have a jersey, but have you got anything sort of cool to show us off this week?
I got 2 things. I don't own any merchandise. I actually kind of make an effort not to. I've only got a few colors that look good, but I do have a couple of things actually. This first one, I think it's a jersey. This is the Kilkenny GAA, the Gaelic Athletic Association of Ireland. That's their hurling team, which is like cricket. It's the fastest game on grass. I did a bit of work for the GAA long ago, and Kilkenny are like the number one. They're like the Perth Wildcats of hurling. They always win. But the second thing I've got that's more in line with this podcast and basketball and that, I've shown this to the man himself. I've got this. This is an Andrew Gaze bobblehead. Hope you can see that.
Very good.
When he was at the Kings. So this is, I know that I think either last week or the week before, you guys had Tigers jerseys on. One of you was Gaze, one was Copeland. So I want to talk about Gaze as a player, but certainly as a coach. I mean, you guys saw him coach. What did I got here in my notes here? He's got a record of 42 and 42. So, 50-50. Can't put him in there. But as good as he was as a player, I dare say he was as bad as a coach. I was not impressed by him as a coach. Funky, running the shuffle, funky lineups. That's my impression of Gaze.
It's funny, isn't it, mate? Sometimes those players that are sort of the genuine greats or the superstars of the game, they don't always sort of translate to sort of being that great head coach, do they? I mean, they might be better suited at managing roles or scouting type roles, but they don't always make sort of the best coaches. But hey, I'm a massive Andrew Gaze homer, so I'm never going to say anything bad about the man. But no, fair point anyway. But no, all good, mate. And all right, we might go on to you next, Woody. I can see you wearing a jersey there, and I'm trying to guess what it is, and I can't quite pick it there. So let's show everyone what you got today.
Yeah, sure thing, Robbie.
Oh, nice. So for the people that are just listening on the podcast, it's a New York Knicks number 17 Jeremy Lin jersey. So that's an absolute classic there from the Linsanity sort of era when Jeremy Lin was with the Knicks. That's a nice one there, Woods.
Yeah, thanks, Robbie. As you said, Linsanity, and with the distinct Chinese and Asian influence coming into the NBL this year, I thought it would be only fitting to wear the jersey of one of the most influential players of all time to his community. Jeremy Lin will always be remembered in popular culture and folklore for changing the trend. Ivy League educated, Harvard. He's a pioneer in paving the way for young Asian American kids wanting to break the trend and potentially making it into the NBA one day. And while also getting a good education. In Asian culture, and I'm Indian in our culture, parents are always talking about getting a good education and studying. He was able to do that, as well as fulfill his ambitions to make it professional in basketball. So it's and that, as you said, that run he went on for the Knicks about a decade ago, saw these jerseys fly off the shelf like all over the world, myself included, and it's a very iconic jersey for me to be wearing. And look, he's currently plying his trade for the Beijing Ducks in the CBA, and at 33, he's not given up hope of another shot at the NBA. In fact, I know a lot of NBA teams that could do worse than take a flyer on Jeremy Lin right now, right?
Absolutely right. I can still picture Mike Breen yelling out a bit of a bang after he got that sort of game winner against Toronto. I
Right.
did have a little Jeremy Lin thing in the room that's not too far at Hamwood, so I'll just try and show you that if I can. All right, so just matching what you've got there with the jersey. That's a pretty random sort of one. So you can imagine how much merchandise and other stuff they would have done right after that all
Absolutely.
happened. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, good stuff, mate. I like that one. So look, I guess I'll just sort of show off what I'm wearing today. Look, you can probably see what's hanging in the background. It's a Damian Martin Perth Wildcats jersey. I'm also rocking another Damo jersey. It's a heritage jersey from a few years ago. So I'll just show you that one now anyway.
And as Robbie mentioned, classic Damian Martin heritage version jersey, one of Robbie's all-time favorite players and one of the greatest defensive players to ever play in the NBL, if not the greatest. We had this
not
argument.
not one of.
Yeah, him and Donnell Mee, it's there between the two of them. We've had this chat before, right?
Well, the trophy's only named after one of them, and that's
right,
Damo.
Right.
So, look, I guess just a little bit on Damo. Look, just an absolute legend of the NBL. I think he's one of those players that even if he wasn't, if you weren't a Perth Wildcats fan, you would have enjoyed watching Damo. He really made the most out of all of his abilities there. And look, he's one of the greatest defenders, especially for a guard, that I've probably seen in all my time watching basketball. So he was a 6-time Defensive Player of the Year, which for a point guard, again, is just incredible there. A 6-time champ. He also had a grand final MVP in 2016. And look, just as I said, an absolute legend. He sort of had time with the Boomers and everything as well. Look, I was lucky enough to meet Marto a few times over the years, and look, just an absolute champion bloke. He couldn't have been any more friendly, as you'd probably expect. You can probably kind of tell he's a little bit like that. So, yeah. So for me, Marto there, I do sort of miss having him at the Wildcats. It's obviously just that new era, and this will be the second season without him now. But yeah, he's always sort of remain an absolute legend in the Wildcats books anyway. So. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're sort of a bit of a fan of Marto as well, Woods, from those
I am.
Sydney days.
And I know you have met him a few times. Yeah, I was just about to say, coming to those West Sydney Razorback games before he was a Perth Wildcat, seeing him in Randwick. We used to see him around Randwick all the time, and I had a chat to him at the games back then. He was young. Never would I have thought, that horrific injury we saw down at that Kudos Bank Arena after the exhibition game with the And One mixtape guys. They had a double header that day, the And One guys and the Razorbacks playing against the Gold Coast Blaze. And that injury he went down with was horrific. And, coming back from that was hard enough. But then to forge the career he did, Hall of Famer he will be, just brilliant. And just to say, you've actually posted a nice photo recently on Twitter of yourself and Damo together.
That's right. Yeah, check out the Twitter page. That was from that NBL Blitz that I mentioned on last week's episode when they played in Sydney, the James Ennis year. So, sort of going back a little bit now. But, yeah, that was definitely a good sort of memory there. So, good stuff, Wood. So, all right, I guess just before we sort of go on a little bit more, I'll just give you a little bit, just confirming what we're sort of be covering in this episode. So, look, we're going to go straight on to having a bit of a chat with Joseph there. I'm really sort of interested and looking forward to hear what he's got to say there. We're going to make a few NBL predictions at the end of that as well. So stay tuned for that. We'll see what those predictions are like. We've got a viewer question after that, which is a very good one as well. We've got the classic packs, Woody's favourite segment where we open the cards. And Woods, it's back this week, mate. Oh, I like that. NBA Hoops. It's back this week, Hawks talk. So a few people were like, what's going on last week? No Hawks talk. But, yeah, we're back this week. All right. Definitely. So, look, we might get straight into it there. So, look, Joseph, just wanted to sort of, get into it sort of straight away and just see if you can sort of maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and sort of when and how you sort of, developed a love for the game of basketball.
Yeah, sure, Rob. So I guess I start with everything. I work at a company called Stats Perform, which is a news as well as sports analytics company that does every code from AFL, but predominantly the English Premier League, and the cricket of late. We did all the T20 World Cup. That was good. So I work for them, but I'm in the news division. So you might hear my stuff on Sydney Morning Herald, The Age, Brisbane Times, Fairfax, News Corp stuff. So it gets picked up over the internet. Typically, it'll be a VO with my voiceover on top of it. Do a bit of NBA, bit of NBL this season. Like Dellavedova's games have been picked up, so we'll cover them. It's funny you say love of basketball. Man, I'm not so sure I love it. I know you're not expecting that answer, but I definitely like it. But, you know, I was thinking about this just today. You know, I only love things that love me back. And I don't know if basketball is a sport that in Australia does that. And maybe you guys probably have a different feeling, but I just think there's bigger codes. But I like it. It's a really good game. It's fun to pull apart and dissect. Like, I like it from that standpoint of trying to work out how it works, how it operates, a little bit of human interest story, and it's got all that. Yeah, love is a strong word. I only love two things.
No, it's a fair call. I like it. It's sort of an honest one as well. What order are you putting those in?
Yeah, that's it.
Good
alcohol
stuff.
first.
Well, I just wanted to.
I find that I love alcohol. Yeah. I spend the most time with that.
I know, Joe. I know.
Good stuff, mate. And look, I just wanted to sort of ask a little bit about the NBL Pocket podcast as well there, Joseph. So I know you guys have it's nearly been going for about 3 years now, right? So I guess just firstly, sort of congratulations on this. I know it's something that Woody and I have always sort of enjoyed and sort of listened to there. Yeah, just wanted to sort of find out a little bit about, you know, how that came about. And also, I guess, sort of, you know, how you sort of, you know, met Andrew Kenyon, who's the co-host of the podcast. And yeah, just a little bit of information about that.
So I did it started for two reasons. One was to work on voiceover skills for my job and do it in an easy way, but come out with a product at the end of it. And then the NBL looked kind of undernourished at that time. There was only a couple of podcasts. So I thought, okay, you know, good market, should be an audience for it, and go for there. As far as Andrew goes, Andrew's been doing the podcast as co-host for about a year and a half. I went on Andrew's podcast, Keep Practicing, where he interviews like his brothers on there. It's a nice little podcast. And, you know, he's a longtime fan, but also Andrew's got something to say. You know, he's really good at what he does, and our schedules lined up. So it was simple enough that that he would come on.
Nice. And I heard you mention on the podcast last week there, Joseph, that, you know, you guys almost look a little bit similar as well there. So I don't know whether that was maybe an attraction there, but yeah I thought that was quite funny.
And I've also got to mention that, you know, listening to the NBL Pocket podcast myself, you know, you were able to give us news about the NBL in a precise way. And, you know, it was really good to listen to. And you said on one of your episodes, Joe, look, every team needs a podcast, or the NBL needs a little bit more coverage. So if you're thinking about getting a podcast out there, you should do it. And, you know, that rung loudly in my ear. And I've told you this before. So thanks for saying that, because, you know, we wouldn't be here right now if potentially you didn't say that, and I had that, you know, subconsciously in my head what you said. So you've done a great job, and I've really enjoyed the podcast over the last few years, man. Yeah.
Cool. All right, no, I appreciate that, mate. And look, I just obviously the NBL Blitz is going on at the moment, so I thought we'd obviously just sort of cover that a little bit there, boys, and just sort of I just wanted to sort of see what you guys have sort of thought about the game so far. But obviously we're sort of just into about a week of it so far. But has there been any standouts or surprises for either of you so far?
You go, Woody.
Yeah, look, I mean, in terms of that, Robbie, I mean, definitely Tasmania is going to be better than we thought. You know, that's one thing that I've noticed, right? That import trio of Adams, Majet, and, you know, I told you, the under the radar, McCall, McIntosh, you know, are very good. We saw what Cairns did with DJ Newell, Cam Oliver, Scott Machado a couple of years back, Rob. So, I mean, if you get three quality imports, you know, in this league, and a good next star, they got, you know, Mihailovsky, the Russian, and then some decent Australian talent. You can be competitive in the league. I know we had them as the wooden spoon, but I just watching preseason lately, and I think that they're going to be a little better than people think, man.
No, fair call. What about yourself there, Joseph? Anyone that's kind of stood out either in a good or a bad way for you so far?
I've got a bit of a controversial one, but I want to mention it as far as standouts. Like, I noticed that the NBL used Mitch Creek in their promotional stuff. And obviously, you know, he's been in the news in a negative way in the last sort of 6 months or a year, or whatever it was.
Yes.
For better or worse, it shows, you know, I would have thought people would really bristle at that. They haven't yet, but it just shows a loyalty between, you know, employer in the NBL and employee in Mitch Creek that on that level, I commended from the NBL. It's risky. Yeah, I appreciate it.
That's true. They're obviously backing him and everything, aren't they? What do you reckon about that, Woods?
a lot of people have actually spoken up that they're still plugging him and they shouldn't be because of exactly what Joseph mentioned, what's happened recently. And, you got to be a positive influence to younger people. As Joe said, NBL isn't one of the, premier, codes in this country. So we need to sort of be good role models and good influences like the man you're whose jersey you're wearing today. And I'm actually going to say I think they shouldn't be pushing him forward at all, right? Because I know it's risky and commend them for standing by him. But at the same point, there's young kids looking up to you, and if all you need to do is do a Google search and find out what he's been up to recently. Tim Payne's been in the news lately, and we know that Mitch Creek has. You can forgive transgressions, but at the same point, you got to set a good example, right?
Yeah.
So
no, fair enough. Yeah, good points there, fellas. All right. Look, I guess just in terms of the NBL, look, we're recording this on a Friday, so we're exactly 2 weeks away from the first game. I think there's a double header on that first Friday there in 2 weeks. So, look, obviously we're all really looking forward to that, and I think we've got a good season ahead.
Hey, man, Robbie.
Yeah,
one thing I just wanted to jump in there, man. My Kings are going to be good. That's the other thing I wanted to say, all right? We are going to be good this year, right? I'm going to straight up tell you that.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, mate. I think they're definitely a top 4 chance. I think they've got a very loaded roster there.
I mean, we lost 2 out of the 3 blitz, including a nail biter in New Zealand, in our last game.
They were up most of that game, weren't they, against New Zealand? So
put up the first 14 points of that game. But I wouldn't look too much into that at all. We've been, running out some of our bench units. So good to see Angus Glover healthy and playing, some good basketball after, he struggled lately with, his luck with injuries. Matua Maker and Jalen Adams made their debuts in the last game. And they look great. RJ Hunter is yet to play. Jordan Hunter's finger, he's got an injury. He won't be taking the court at all in the preseason, so he might miss the start of the regular season. So basically, I think a Mature Maker has also got a slight ankle niggle. He should be good to go for the season. But what I'm saying, it's nice to see everyone get some court time. And, once we have a full squad, and these guys have got, some burn in the preseason, they're going to be better off for it. And I think, I know we're going to get to our predictions later, but, I'm putting my Kings up there this year, bro.
I was about to say, I'll be asking you for an NBL champion. You might be saying their name at this stage.
Take your Wildcats. What else am I going to say, dog? I'm going to say the Wildcats.
No. Can I jump in on that Kings thing? I just want to say, what I got from the Blitz, like another standout from the Blitz, it's a pace race this season. Every team seems to want to go small. Every team, and the Sydney Kings especially, their pace at the Blitz was just ridiculous, like off the charts, especially from where they were last year under Adam Ford, pretty slow. One thing I'll say that I didn't like about them was the lack of poise down the stretch. I've liked Peyton Siver the moment that the Breakers signed him. I thought Kings are going to be a team that's quarter 1 through 3 playing that pace, but can they close out a game? And Siver showed them how to do it. So I have slight worries about the Kings, but not too much. But
All right, boys. So, look, we're just going to go through these sort of 8 categories now, just obviously sort of get a little bit of an answer from everyone with our predictions there. So I thought we'd start with the champion prediction there, Woods. Who have you got for us for that, mate?
Well, I said earlier, man, who else but Sydney? I think that this is our year. We got a really good chance, a good squad, a stacked roster, a coach with high pedigree. And, I'm always going to be the optimist. So I'm going to say Sydney, man.
All right. No, good call. What about yourself there, Joseph?
I have got Perth with an asterisk because I feel like their preparation's underdone. I'm not mad about the bigs. Hodgson, Majuk, there's a big question mark there. But also, they're playing pace for the first time. They didn't play flex in the Blitz. They were never going to. They're part of the sort of NBL, NBA light thing they're going for. And if they push the pace, how's that going to suit Norton, Wagstaff, Kevin White? I'm not so sure. But my answer is still Perth. They've won it so many times. So it's a safe bet.
No, fair call. Well, look, I'll probably shock everyone here, and I'm going to go Perth as well. Look, probably about a month ago, I wouldn't have said that. What I was a little bit worried, but look, after they got Frazier and Hodgson, I think they just sort of shored up the roster a bit there. And I do like the talent. I think it's 3 really good imports there. There's some, a mix of sort of some veteran Aussie talent. We've got guys like Luke Travers, who I really expect will have a big sort of breakout year in his first proper season. Now he's not a development player. So, yeah, I'm going to go the Wildcats for that one.
I think the asterisk's also going to be Gleeson gone now, right? You know what I mean? They got a new coach. Gleason's a big part of that influence there. So let's see how they go in a new system under a new coach as well. So
good call. Yeah. All right. Well, next we're going to go on to MVP. So look, I might start us off with this one. So I'm going to go Joe Chi for MVP.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit of a big call.
Wow.
Right?
That is a massive call, man.
What the hell? Wow.
I didn't want to come out and just, be a homer with Bryce Cotton or sort of maybe some of the other players there. But yeah, I have a feeling he's in for a really big year. And yeah, that's my sort of bold prediction for MVP. What about you guys for that one?
Go, Joe.
I've got Bryce Cotton or Peyton Siver. I think Cotton's going to put up the numbers because they're going to push the pace, but I think Siver's going to be the most poised point guard in the NBL. That's typically where the award goes, so that's where I'm at.
Look, maybe a hot take from me, but we saw how well John Mooney played with Bryce Cotton last year, and I think Vic Law is a superior player. And I think he's going to do really well in that Perth Wildcats system. It's a left field choice for me, but I've got Vic Law as the MVP if he can stay healthy this year.
I like it, mate. And how's that? You picking a Wildcat to win MVP and me not?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
What's
man.
going on? It must be like a Freaky Friday or something, right?
Yeah.
No, all good. All right. Well, the next one we sort of go on to the scoring leader. So we'll stay with you for that one there. Woods, who have you got for the scoring leader?
I got the walking bucket from Tasmania, Josh Adams. All right. Someone's got to score on that team, and he's gonna have the ball in his hand a lot. He's gonna get a lot of shots. And he's gonna have a few 40 pieces this season. I've seen him in preseason. They might not make the postseason, but they probably won't. But they're going to be better than people think. Josh Majed is a hell of a point guard. He's going to get Josh Adams the ball in places he's going to like it. So I'm going to go Josh Adams from Tasmania, man, as the scoring leader.
No, that's a good one. And what about yourself there, Joseph?
I had Tyler Harvey written down, but I'm going to change that answer because Sydney are going to push the pace so much. I think it might be that RJ Hunter. I think they're going to play at a stupid pace, and therefore they're going to score, and therefore the scoring leader is likely someone from Sydney.
Damn, RJ Hunter. That's a hot take, man. Like being a Kings fan, right? I thought he'd probably be a bit of a peripheral player and maybe be the third wheel on that team. But yo, Joe, if you're right, man.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I'm actually going to take your Tyler Harvey that you originally said there. I reckon Tyler Harvey's going to win it this year. Look, he was third in the scoring chase last year. I don't see sort of any reason why he won't be sort of right around that sort of mark there. So, yeah, look, I'll go Tyler Harvey for that one. And look, with the six-man award, I'll sort of start with that and sort of continue with the Hawks theme there. A little bit out of left field. I thought for my six-man prediction, I might try and find an import that maybe might not be starting. So my pick for that is Xavier Wrathan Mays from the Hawks.
The Canadian.
The Canadian. So I don't have a lot to go off from that one, but I liked how he looked in the blitz so far. So yeah, he's my pick for six man. What about you guys for that one?
Yeah, so maybe I'll kick it off, Joe. So I'm going to go Jeremiah Martin, man. Your boy from New Zealand. He's been coming off the bench, and he's been getting buckets, man, right? And it looks like he's going to come off that bench for the majority of the season, play that six-man role. I know in our New Zealand Breakers preview, you mentioned that, Robbie, that he'd probably be that sixth man.
Yep.
And the guy like Josh Adams is a walking bucket as well, and he gets it done in a variety of different ways. So I'm going to go Jeremiah Martin. My apologies, from New Zealand. Yeah.
I'm going to go with this one. It's hard to know who's going to come off the bench. Like I wanted to know, I wanted someone who was definitely going to qualify. For me, I'm going Rob Lowe.
Wow.
Here's why. Definitely Finn Delaney and yet Wetzel are going to start, right? So you know that he's coming off the bench. So that's one thing. I at least know he's going to be eligible. And you might remember before the Webster brothers got there and hogged every possession that year before, towards the end of the year when they started to play well, Rob Lowe was on fire. Like, he's a really good pick and pop center. And I think he's going to come in. He's going to grab some rebounds. He's going to score some points. Rob Lowe, why not?
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
A few takes here from the host of the NBL Pocket Podcast, right, RC?
Absolutely. I like that one as well. Yeah, Rob Lowe, he's obviously, I love watching the guy shoot from the big man position. So, no, it's a decent one there. And look, I think it's like we said as well, it is hard maybe not knowing 100% who will be coming off the bench. I think we probably will find this season there will be quite a few imports that don't start as well, which is, obviously with there being 3 imports now, there's more chance of that happening. So, all right. So, look, we're going to go on to Coach of the Year. Look, I'm just realising this might be 3 Hawks in a row for me. But, look, I'll start with you, maybe this one, Woods. Who you got for Coach of the Year?
I got Adam Ford for Coach of the Year. In Sydney, probably wasn't a great fit for him. Cairns, I think they're going to be better than people think. I know they've started the preseason pretty poor, but once he gets an opportunity to, stamp his authority on that team, let's say, and teach them a little bit about hard work and dedication, which is what he's all about, then I think Cairns are going to surprise a few people. You're going to see a lot of these guys develop under his tutelage. Maybe a Kawatnai getting a lot better this year under Ford. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Adam Ford.
No, that's a good one. Well, look, as I said, I'm going with another Hawks. I'm going to go with Brian Goorjian. Look, we know every year that Gorge coaches a team in the NBL, they're going to perform well. So, yeah, I didn't sort of see anyone, better to pick rather than Gorge there. But, look, we'll finish with yourself, Joseph. Who you got for Coach of the Year for this one?
Dan Shamir. This award is about guys that improve. That team was bad last year, had a bad record. I think he'll be the architect of them. I've got him in the 4, so to go from second worst, I think, or thereabouts, to the 4, I think that's enough to get you the award.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, good stuff. We'll go on to the Roy now, or the Rookie of the Year. Look, I might start off with this one. Pretty easy for me. Luke Travers. No real surprises there, probably, right, Woods? Who you got for that one?
Is Luke Travers eligible because he was a
Yeah.
DP last year, right?
He absolutely is, yeah. So because it's his first actual contracted season, he's absolutely eligible to win that Rookie of the Year award. So yeah, my money will
Got
be
it.
on him.
Well, I'm going to change my mind as well from what I had because I wasn't sure if he was eligible, and I'm going to agree with you on that. Luke
Yeah.
Travers, Rookie of the Year, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, unanimous. I think
Ooh, first clean
he's
sweep.
he's going to have a lot of minutes. They're going to play up tempo, so he's going to stat. I think I didn't really see a contender to stop him.
Good
Yeah,
call.
maybe Osimhen Deng, your guy from New Zealand who you like, Robbie, a little bit. He's a next star. I think he's eligible for the Rookie of the Year as well.
Okay.
Maybe a sleeper, right?
Yeah. Fair call. All right, so we've just got a couple left. So look, the Defensive Player of the Year. We'll start with Woody again for that one. Who you got for that one?
Tahiri McCall, from the Cairns Taipans. This guy is a menace, man, right? He's won all sorts of defensive awards in college and growing up, and he's averaging like 3 steals a game in college. He's a lockdown defender. I think a lot of the pundits as well in the NBL have come out and said that he's going to be their Defensive Player of the Year, and he's got that DJ Newble about him a little bit on the defensive end, so he's going to fit into that forward system. It's going to be good for him, and I got McCall as the Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm agreeing with you there, Woods. I've got him as well, so it's unusual. We've actually agreeing on a few predictions here, but can we make it another clean sweep there, Joseph? Who you got?
Just to be different, I'm going to say Sunday Dech. I think they like to give this award to an
Right.
Australian. It's named after Damian Martin. He's a Damian Martin protege. So he's a good player. And that McCarron backcourt, they're going to actually play some defense this year and maybe win a few games. So Sunday Dech.
I like that.
Well, they didn't give it to an Australian last year, Joe. They gave it to Justin Simon, right? So
how could they not though? Last year,
yeah, fair call, menace, man. Yeah.
All right, so I guess just for our sort of NBL season predictions here, we've got the MIP, the Most Improved Award. Look, we might start off with Joseph with this one. Who you got for the MIP for this season?
Ryan Brokoff. Did this on my pod a little while ago. He had a bad year. He only averaged 5, 6, 7 points per game. Didn't look good. Played half the games as well. I think this year he's going to be a 20-point scorer. That's an improvement.
Good call. Yeah. What about you, Woods?
Look, I got Joe Lual. Never seen a shot I don't like it. Chul, right?
Good boy.
37 and 11. In that first game, Jock Landale's out. He's going to start. He's going to be given, for the first time in his life, 30, minutes per game. Last year, he was putting up 9.5 points and 5 odd rebounds, right? He's going to possibly be a 2010 guy this year, man, right? And he's really said lately that he went over to Summer League and didn't even get a game, right? And he was playing against all these guys in scrimmages. And he said, look, I'm better than all these guys. I belong in the NBA. He's got a point to prove. They've gone in with just the one import this year. And he's going to get that opportunity to really play big minutes and show what he's got and showcase his talent to potentially make that leap and go over to the United States. So I got Joe Luala-Chul, man.
Yeah, that's actually a really good one there, Woods. Maybe I could think about changing mine. I actually went with one of your boys for this one. I went Angus Glover.
Right,
a little bit out of left field, but nice. I thought that's as good as anyone that could sort of get it. So,
well, I mentioned he's shown that in preseason that he's going to be a big part of the Kings' offense this year. So,
what we might do, we might sort of table these together and pull them out at a later date and sort of maybe check in later in the year and see how we went. But
definitely.
Right, good stuff. All right, no, I enjoyed that. So, look, I guess for the next part, we haven't done it for a couple of weeks, right, Woods? We've got another viewer question this week. We had a couple that have come in, and we obviously really appreciate sort of the questions coming in there. But look, I'll read this one out, Woods, and maybe you can sort of take us away with a bit of an answer there.
Sure.
So look, the viewer question is from Jana, and Jana, we really appreciate you obviously sort of your support and sending in the viewer question there. So, Jana asks, "Hey, Woody and Rob. Loving the show, lads. Keep up the great work. Wanted to ask how you think Delhi will fare coming back home to Melbourne United. And do you think he still has a chance to make it back to the NBA at some point?" Woods, what do you reckon about that one?
Look, I mean, we covered this with Coach Ash a few weeks ago, right? And he said that, money-making Mitch McCarron going out and getting Delhi in is going to be a downgrade for United, right? And we've seen him over the last few years. He's not the player that he was at all. He's got a little bit slower. He's changed that shooting technique of his. I don't even think he's going to be that effective in the NBL unless he can, make a big change and improvement from what he's shown over the last few years. We saw him in the Olympics. I don't think the NBA is a possibility for him. He could be more of that game manager, role playing import in the NBL. But even in the preseason, he's turning the ball over a lot. He's looking, very iffy. So I would say no. I think he won't have a massive impact on the NBL. He's not going to be a first teamer or a second teamer. I would take a lot more point guards ahead of him. Don't put him in your fantasy team, guys. Do not put him in your fantasy team.
I've got a follow-up question, I guess, for you there, Woods, as well about Delhi there. How do you think his D will go? Do you think that will sort of translate to the NBL level like it did? Or he's obviously a very physical defender. Do you think he can sort of get away with some of those sort of tactics here?
Well, we saw the Olympics, right? He wasn't able to stay, in front of his man. His men were driving past him and getting to the bucket easily, and to the point where they couldn't even play him that much anymore. I know he's comfortable with playing at the FIBA level with FIBA refereeing and rules like that, but he's 30. But I mean, he's a lot older than that because his body's taken a lot of hits, and I don't think so. I don't think he'll be that effective as a defender. He'll be solid. He'll try hard, but no, I don't think he'll be as good a defender as we've seen, like the Steph Curry lockdown defender that he was in the NBA playoffs some years back, right?
5 years ago.
Joseph will agree with me on this, I think.
I agree with everything Wood said, and I'm going to use the word disaster, and here's why. Because this is a guy who's getting $700K of a salary cap of what, 1.1, 1.3 million. That's over half, depending on what it is. You're not going to get over half of the production. Like Bryce Cotton gets that much money, he gives you that much production. I don't think Dellavedova's going to do that. Nothing from that Olympic campaign, as you said, Woody, changed my opinion of that. As far as him going back to the NBA, hopefully I'm still holding together. Man, he's 31, and he's got the wrong agent. He's with Bill Duffy of BDA Sports. To get that handcuff contract he needs to be with Clutch, and he's not with Clutch. So no, I don't think.
Right, good point. Good point.
Yeah. True. All right. No, I pretty much sort of agree with everything there. Look, I am quite excited to see him play here. I think it probably will boost the game, probably especially in Melbourne there. We'll see maybe potentially a few more kids and everything going to the games there. But
like Robbie, sorry to jump in there. And Jana, it's more for what he's going to offer off the court than necessarily on the court. He's going to put bums on seats. Yeah. Little kids are going to be like, Matthew Dellavedova's here. Can I get your autograph, etc. So it's a nice thing to have for the NBL. Joseph just said that, his job's going to allow him to cover all the Delhi games. So he's going to get that attention on him. It's good for the league to have an absolute legend of Australian basketball back in the country and representing the brand of the NBL and Basketball Australia. So I'll give him that.
No, good stuff. All right. Well, look, really appreciate that question there, Jana. As I said before, thanks for your support, mate. We were both sort of really appreciate it. And guys, feel free to sort of send any more sort of questions or anything you'd like us to cover there, and we'll try and sort of cover those in a future episode. So, all right. So we're up to that part of the show again that Woody gets all happy and starts getting like a bit of a kid for a few minutes there. So it's time for the classic packs.
Hell yeah.
So Woods, what do you got for us this week, mate?
I'm excited for this. Sorry to interrupt there. I haven't done this in 10 years.
We're back to the 91, 92 hoops.
Yep, we did
and
that
maybe you want to tell the audience a little bit about your communication with Lee Ellis throughout the week, man. I think
I saw this.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. So look, I just obviously just sent a tweet, obviously with the video link there, just sort of thanking Lee and obviously letting him know that we got a checklist last week. And as we sort of said last week, the rule, if you get a checklist, you rip it up into about 5 bits and throw it over your shoulder. So look, I sent that off to Lee, and straight away sort of got a response there. He said, "Great work, guys. Keep up the work," and everything. So that was a proud moment, sort of hearing back from Lee. So we'll make sure we copy him in any of those sort of future links, Wood, so you can see what we're doing there. All right, Woods. Well, I can tell from the look on your face there, you've obviously pulled like a good first card in that pack. So, who you got for us?
All right. So the first card I got is one of the greatest bad boys of all time.
Oh, wow.
Bill Laimbeer.
Great card there. He was referencing a Beastie Boys track back in the day, wasn't he? And I believe he's been quite a successful coach in the WNBA there. So, good old Billy Laimbeer. That's a good one.
Awesome. Sorry to jump in there. Bill Laimbeer is one of the few guys who doesn't have a tape about him. You got like Patrick Ewing standing tall, Come Fly With Me, Jordan. I feel like there should be a Laimbeer one coming out, and I bet Netflix are going to steal my idea and do it. But anyway.
That would be awesome, man. Awesome. I'd like to know a little bit more about
with that Beastie Boys song as the theme music, right?
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And I know you like this guy, man. Being a shooter yourself, right? One of the great 3-point shooters of all time. Chuck Person.
Oh, I love the Rifleman, bro.
Yeah, the Rifleman.
Mate, I've got his jersey in one of those cupboards there, the Rifleman. Yeah, big fan of Chuck Person there.
You're going to have to wear that jersey on an episode, bro.
Yeah, I will wear that one. I've actually got the personalised one with the Rifleman on the back when they're doing those nickname jerseys. And I've got his bobblehead too. So I love Chuck Person.
All right. An underrated point guard of the 90s. Sherman Douglas.
Oh, the Shermanator.
The Sherm, baby.
He had a decent career, didn't he? Yeah,
He did have a good
he was with the
career.
Nets. He played with the Celtics as well. But yeah, no, he had a sort of good time down
Looks
at
pretty
South
heavy
Beach
in
as
that
well.
photo. Sorry,
Yeah, he was always a little bit chubby, the old Shermanator.
Yeah. All right, I know you like this one, man. Milwaukee Bucks. Jack Sikma.
Mate, Jack Sikma,
Oh,
a great
man.
free throw shooter, wasn't he? The big man there. He also had a bit of a career with the Sonics as well, Jack Sikma.
He
So
did.
I'm already liking this pack better than last week's wood. So maybe these
You got a
91,
Sigma
92
jersey, man? Do you
I
have a
actually
Sigma
don't.
jersey?
I'm sorry to
No.
disappoint you, but I don't have a Sigma jersey.
Okay. All right, I know you've been wanting this one for a while, man. Rookie of the Year, special edition, left-hander, DC,
Oh yeah, that's a nice one.
Derek Coleman.
Excellent. Derek Coleman, Rookie of the Year card. You got to love that. DC was a great player in the 90s, wasn't he? I know we're both fans of him as well, Woods.
Hell yeah, I do have a Derek Coleman jersey. You know that, man.
Me too.
Yeah. You got the champion one, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, great jersey, man. Great jersey. An absolute legend. Moved into the front office later and worked with many NBA teams, but very underrated player. Kiki Vanderway.
Very good. Yeah. So
Kiki
with the Knicks
Vanderway.
there, it's funny. I sort of remembered him sort of more, I guess, maybe with the Nuggets sort of earlier
Nuggets.
on.
I remember him with the Nuggets.
Yeah, with the Knicks. Wow, that's a random one, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. I know you're going to love this one, man. I know you're going to love this one. Olden Polynice.
Oh, nice. Officer Olden Polynice.
Officer Olden Polynice. For the viewers, do you want to, and the audience, you want to tell them a little bit about what you mean by that?
Yeah, so Officer Olden Polynice, we actually named our fantasy comp after him a couple of seasons. But yeah, a couple of years after he retired, he decided it would be a cool thing to sort of impersonate a police officer. And he used to drive around with a fake siren and a fake police badge. And he actually did that quite a few times and ended up sort of getting in quite a bit of trouble for that. So Officer Olden Polynice, we salute you.
Definitely. And another player who was referenced in a rap song. I just can't quite remember which rap song, Robbie. Maybe you can remember. Terry Teagle.
Oh, nice. Ooh.
Which rap song was it?
I'm not thinking. I can't recall that one. I can picture Terry Teagle playing with Golden State with sort of Manute Bol and the Run TMC guys. But no, who's the track? Are you asking me because you don't remember, or you don't?
I don't remember, man.
Okay.
I know the verse, but maybe Google it, bro. Let me know.
All right, we'll get back to you on that one.
All right. This is one that I haven't heard in a while, and I can't even remember if I have heard. Robbie, I mean, your knowledge is pretty good, but Randy Brewer from Minnesota?
Big Randy Brewer. No, I definitely remember Randy Brewer. Yeah, he was about 7'1", I think. I think he was maybe with the Timberwolves from their very first season as well. So, yeah, it's a name I haven't heard for a while, but he was a big boy, wasn't he? He actually had a bit of a sky hook as well, Randy Brewer. So,
yeah, 7'3", but close. And he was with Minnesota from their
boy.
first season.
Yeah.
And then he went to Milwaukee and came back to Minnesota. So, yes, good knowledge, Robbie. All right, I remember this man, big man, Mark West from the Phoenix Suns.
Nice, Mark West. Yeah, I think he was with the Cavs before Phoenix as well at some stage. Is that right? Does it show Cavs on there? I think he might have been with them.
How do I ever argue with this guy?
Yeah, I think he was drafted by them. But yeah, big Mark West.
Yeah, encyclopedia, man, encyclopedia. All right, and we pulled this guy's card.
It's not Chris Ford again, is it?
No. In the 1991 hoops, we pulled this guy's card, and we know Jaden was a big fan of us pulling this card. But I've got a special edition insert All-Star card. Clyde the Glide Drexler.
That's a nice one.
Hell yeah. All right. This is not a checklist card, but it is a Golden State Warriors team card.
I remember those ones. That's a bit of Run TMC there as well, isn't it?
Run TMC, yeah. And I think they've got, I think, is it Billy Owens there as well? So
I was wondering if that was a bit of Bimbo Coles in the background as well, maybe.
Yeah. And it's nice to see a franchise that struggled for so long to have success in those days when we were growing up have now just turned it all around, right? And
absolutely.
Things are totally different in the Bay Area, right?
Yeah,
so
big time.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God. I cannot believe I just pulled this. Guys, Michael Jordan 91-92 All-Star card.
Ooh.
That's the first card you've pulled so far that actually might be worth something. You might have to get your Beckett out tonight, Woods, and have a look at the value on that one.
That might be.
It could be. Yeah, it could
I reckon it's probably about $5. Anyway, did you send me the PDF file of the most recent
send you
Beckett,
that.
bro?
I did,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, good. I might have to look it up.
Because that's funny. Those old sort of 90s cards, the Jordan cards are pretty much the only ones that hold any value. Even a lot of the rookie cards that people thought were the great things there, they were so mass-produced at that time there.
They were.
Yeah, it's more the 80s ones where you've got to get the value for those sort of rookie cards.
Another team card, Utah Jazz.
Nice. 2 team cards.
Yeah, name some of the greats on the Utah Jazz in the 91 season, Robbie.
Also, what we got? So Stockton and Malone, maybe a bit of
Mark
was
Eaton.
Jeff Hornacek there that time? Yeah, Mark Eaton,
Yep.
Thurl Bailey.
Yep.
Who else
Wasn't
we got
Hornacek
there?
part of a deal with Barkley? Didn't Barkley go to Phoenix? Hornacek went from Philadelphia over to Utah. Was that a
He
pre?
was in that
I
trade
think you
there.
might be right, Joseph. I don't think 91,
And
92 had.
Hornacek was a perfect Utah Jazz looking player too, wasn't he? Let's face it.
Yeah, but I think maybe even Corey Crowder, Jay Crowder's dad might have been on that
Yeah,
early
well,
90s team, right?
He's coming back. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So you got Jimmy Rogers.
Wow, he had some good hair, Jimmy Rogers, back in
He
the
did
day.
too.
Minnesota. Yep, I think he might have been with
Um,
Boston or something back in the day as well. But yeah,
I think he passed away as well not too long ago, if I'm
Okay,
not mistaken.
yeah.
So rest in peace to Jimmy Rogers. And just to let you know, Robbie, because we're pulling all these cards, I ordered a brand new
Oof.
folder full of these little card sleeves so I can put all these cards in there. And when you come
Organised,
over, we
mate.
can go through them.
I like that. And so what? So far, I'm going to be pinching a Glenn Rice card. And was there another one? I think maybe
Chuck
just
Person, man.
Oh, Chuck Person, of course.
Yeah, that's
And
who I was
we
hoping.
still probably haven't had a Hawks play yet. We had Bobby Weiss, the Hawks coach, the legendary coach with those glasses back in the day, but no actual Hawks players. So let's make that our mission to get one of those in the coming weeks, right?
Yep. Well, that's a pretty good segue, isn't it, Robbie?
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, look, I did sort of tease it at the start. We didn't have it last week, and a few people were like, "Where's the Hawks talk? You're not doing this because they've lost 6 in a row." But we're back. We've won 3 in a row now. So look, at the time of recording, the Hawks are 7-9. So certainly placed a little bit better than they were sort of looking last week. Probably both of you will notice as well. I think Nate McMillan's got them playing a lot faster pace this last sort of week or two, and I think that really suits the roster that they've got as well. So yeah, how's your sort of take been on the boys the last week or two there, Woods?
Yeah, it's good to come back and win some big games. And as you said, I think you texted me individually yesterday. See Kevin Herter coming out of that slump and playing some good basketball has been good for us. So I know you're happy there, but I mean there is one little bit of bad news, and I think that might cost us against some of the premier teams in the NBA going forward, and that's the injury to our man DeAndre Hunter, right?
Yeah,
so
that's pretty much our best on-ball defender there, isn't it? But look, I know, obviously we didn't have him for a large period of time last year, so I believe it's a right wrist injury that's going to keep him out for maybe around 8 weeks. But
8 weeks,
look, we did weather the storm last year. We are sort of pretty loaded in those wing positions there. We can play, like you said, Red Velvet can play a little bit more. Cam can play a little bit more as well. And, potentially this could even open up a couple of minutes for Jalen Johnson there, maybe sort of get him a little bit more in the rotation. So what's your sort of take been on the Hawks there, Joseph? I know you were sort of going to sort of check out that game against the Celtics yesterday. What do you sort of take on that?
I just 2 things. First of all, the Hawks have got the 3rd worst defensive rating in the NBA. So when you said they're going to play up pace, you'd hope that's the case to eliminate that bad defense. But this is a team high on its own fumes. Yep. They did well in the finals, 1-8. They're 1-8 on the road. 1 win, 8 losses on the road. They're partying too hard. They'll come good. I like their roster. Just plain as that. I like their roster, and they'll come good.
No, I like it. Look, I think in terms of the Hawks as well, they actually have had the hardest schedule so far out of any team in the league. So they've got a big sort of home run coming up soon. So hopefully they can get that record a little bit back to the 50% mark and kind of build on that. But yeah, I think that was probably the only thing that soured a good week, wasn't it, Woods? Was obviously Hunter's news there.
Yeah, that's been. It's hard to take because he's so influential in what we were doing, and last year he was injured as well. So we thought having him back this year, 8 weeks, hopefully we get him, healthy towards the end of heading into the postseason. Also, the way the game's been called this year, guys like Chris Paul, Trae Young, Damian Lillard, it's been hard for them to adapt to the way the game's called, and I think Trae's finally getting it, man. He's starting to figure out how to play and getting accustomed to the new officiating in the NBA. And you've seen him put up some really good stat lines and be influential in victories for us. And his old running mate JC and him are starting to gel well together, right? So
absolutely. And look, that game earlier this week, it's it's obviously a few days ago now against the Bucks. I mean, that was one of the best games that I've seen Trae play for quite some time. So yeah, that was sort of good to see that. And look, I think they're still sort of looking pretty happy. We've sort of mentioned that you sort of watch the body language and those sort of things. So I don't think that sort of start to the season has sort of got anyone too down or anything like that yet. So no, well, look, hopefully they'll build on that. And look, we'll certainly continue to bring some Hawks talk each week. Hopefully they sort of continue this streak anyway, but we'll certainly keep chatting about that. So All right, so look, I guess that's sort of taking us a little bit towards the end of the show now. So we'll just, I guess, sort of quickly sort of wrap things up there. So look, as I said sort of earlier in the show, just wanted to sort of thank everyone that has tuned in and that has been subscribing to the podcast. Please, if you are watching us on YouTube, hit the like and most importantly the subscribe button there. And if you are listening to it via a podcast there, leave us a review, leave us a 5-star review on Apple. Tell people what you're sort of liking about the podcast, and obviously we'd sort of really appreciate that. And look, in terms of sort of where to find us there, look, I'll sort of run with those woods and let everyone know where we're sort of at there. So, look, obviously our Twitter, it's Throwbacks Hoops. So that's the Twitter handle there. So yeah, we're enjoying sort of the Twitter content and putting pictures of our jerseys and all those sort of things. With our Instagram there, so the Instagram is throwback.hoops. And of course, our email address there, if you want to sort of send any questions or anything like that, is throwbackhoopspodcast@gmail.com. Now, Woods, you also wanted to give us your TikTok there, mate.
Yeah, TikTok Woody_V83. I talk a little bit about the content on the episode, etc. And there's a link to our YouTube channel there as well. So for the younger audience who actually are TikTok subscribers, you can find me there. Thanks,
Good
Rob.
stuff.
You guys got Patreon too, right?
We got Patreon. We haven't kicked it off yet really too much. I think you're our only Patreon supporter at the moment, Joseph. Thank you very much for that. But yes, that's one thing we got to push a little bit more. And yeah, you can find Throwback Hoops on Patreon as well. So
good stuff. Well, look, I just really wanted to sort of thank Joseph as well. I think Joseph is going to be calling TPG tonight just to maybe see if you could look at maybe upgrading his NBN there. But look, we absolutely have loved having you on there, mate. We'd love to have you sort of back again, later in the season. We really, I think as Woody said earlier, we just sort of appreciate that sort of support and sort of being able to lean on someone. Obviously, it's very early days for us with sort of doing these podcasts and these shows. So yeah, just obviously wanted to really thank you. And yeah, how did you enjoy yourself on the show, mate?
Loved it. I don't do video stuff normally. We just do the audio. But yeah, I think next time my internet's that bad, it's probably better just doing this with a tin can, a bit of string. But
nice. You can draw a face or something on it for us.
Don't worry, Joseph. Robbie's was just as bad till I told him to get this long Ethernet cable and plug it in, and now he's good.
You know what?
So,
That's the secret. That's the secret. Next time.
Yeah, I'm talking like I've always had good internet, right? Woods, mine was pretty terrible a few weeks ago. So, and also, Joseph, just sort of let us know if you can, where sort of the audience can sort of find you there, and just give a bit of a plug for yourself there.
Do indeed. NBL Pocket Podcast at Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and then my Twitter is at NBL Pocket Pod, POD, and then on Patreon as well. Just type in the same stuff.
We really appreciate you having coming on the show today, Joseph, and obviously all the support you've given us there. So, look, I just wanted to really sort of thank everyone from the Throwback Hoops crew for tuning in. And just a bit of a sort of a tease as well. Next week, we've got another very big name of Australian basketball. I'll give you a bit of a clue. He makes my moustache, which is pretty bad already, look even worse than it is. So that's the clue I'll give you guys for next week. So, all right, Woods, you got any words for us before we leave there?
No, not much, man. I had a lot of fun today. Great to have JC on the show. Hey, JC, am I still getting invited to that Christmas party or what?
The moment I get the invitation, you'll be the first one. I will CC you in it, it's promised.
All right, homie.
That could be dangerous for everyone with you guys going out again. But
Robbie, you're going to yell at me again, man. I know you are, right?
Probably will. All right, no, I really appreciate it there, guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And one love from Throwback Hoops.
Much love.
See ya.